Well, okay. So I've got a bit of a story. I know someone who believes in they're called a lot of things. Divining rods, dowsing rods. They think that they can basically take wires like from a coat hanger, like a wire coat hanger, bend it into a big L shape, hold it in their hand, and then the two coat hanger pieces will cross when they walk over water. So my question is how does two coat hangers, like from a technical standpoint or a scientific standpoint, locate water? Now, when I brought this up to that person, they said, well, I found water several times. But as you guys know from our name, or maybe you guys don't know, but the MI in My Awesome Podcast stands for Michigan. So Michigan is made up of two peninsulas. And I'll tell you, as someone who lives here, you can't go 10 miles without seeing another lake. Now, that might be a partial exaggeration in certain areas. But I mean, even, okay, I live by a lake. There's another lake a half mile that way. There is another lake 4 miles that way.
Not to mention like
Plus there's the Michigan Lake just right over there.
And then there's like different creeks. You know, there's water all over.
There's water all over. So my point is we also sit on several different aquifers at different levels. Plus the water table is high because all the lakes are around. So who's to say that you couldn't dig almost anywhere and hit water? Now, are there places that you could dig and maybe not hit water? I don't know. I don't know a well company. I'm not a geologist. But I would say in Michigan, your chances are extremely high.
Okay, so let me understand this experiment. They were walking with the two hangers?
Well, dowsing rods. I saw them cut from coat hangers. I literally saw them make them.
And what does the force of the water?
So you just hold them. You hold them loosely, and then as you walk, at a certain part, they will go. They will cross. Sometimes they go this way, and sometimes they go that way, and sometimes they just spread out. But when they cross, that's the spot you dig.
Oh, interesting.
But my question is tell me exactly how that works. Or at least give me a hint of it, or at least prove it in a scientific way. I've seen experiments where scientists have gone, this doesn't work, and we can prove it. And there was one experiment where they had a backyard that they finished, they raised up several feet and then covered the entire thing with plywood. Then they bust in something like 100 people, and they had 4 giant circles drawn on the plywood. Now, the entire backyard is level now because it's all plywood. It's all been raised up to one level. And there are 4 or 5 giant circles, and each circle had a number in it. And they would say, take your dowsing rods, and they could bring their own, or they could make them, or whatever they wanted. And they were just like, tell us if there's water underneath one of them. And basically the results came back that they were almost all selected evenly. So one, like if there was 5 circles, I think it was 5 circles, because I think 20% of them did guess the water. And then later on, when the plywood was removed, under one of the circles was a swimming pool. And so the fact that you didn't get the other one, like I've seen people online say, oh, well, you can find sprinkler lines in your yard with 2 coat hangers. And I think, how? That makes no sense.
I should give that a shot. I think there was some underground sprinkling at my property.
You know what? I've actually looked online how to locate things like that. One, if they're metal, which normally sprinkler lines aren't, they're normally made out of PVC. You can use a metal detector. But even if you are using PVC, one of the other things you can do is you can take off one of your sprinklers, buy a spool of wire, jam it down in there, and now you can use a metal detector to find them. It's not actually that hard. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, right. You just put something metal in it. Why not? But 2 coat hangers. No.
Nah, I'm not believing that either. I don't know, but you know, can't shut it down yet. Maybe there is some you know, you got to hold it just right.
Oh
And
no,
then
that's what they
there's
say. Yeah.
yeah, and then there's attraction power from the water that's like forcing these
Yeah.
things to.
What power?
Yeah.
What attraction?
Well, there's like a connection between the water because doesn't some water contain metal? So maybe there's like a relation to, you know, and it's just drawing these together like a magnet.
I've seen plenty of people do it online, and they'll go, "Look, I'm looking for my old water line or sprinkler line or whatever or drainage line,"
Mm.
and they do it, and then they're like, "Look, I found it." But one, who's to know that they didn't know exactly where it was the entire time?
Yeah, true.
Or who's to know that it isn't just like subconsciously your brain is making them move, you know?
Yeah.
And the other issue is if this was a real thing, it would be provable.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would just be able to do an experiment like they did with the 5 circles.
Mm-hmm.
But what people will do is they'll go, "Oh, well, I can find things in, you know, in my yard or whatever." And then they go out and they show you, which is not a controlled environment.
Yeah.
It is, you know, maybe you're remembering something. Maybe, you know, your subconscious is saying, "Oh, I remember burying it here." Or maybe your brain is going, "Oh, well, you know, the yard all dips to this one area, so that would make sense of that. That's where the drainage is."
Yeah.